I'm just making sure everything's working. Because, technology. Doo-doo, doo-doo. Oh, there it is. It is working, and I'm getting feedback of the stream. Cool. Okay. Well, we are live.
Yay! And there was much rejoicing.
And then we all had a grand old time.
Heyo.
So, previously on this game, you guys fought a necromancer, and actually, we'll move you back over to that page because you guys weren't really done there.
Apparently not.
So yeah, the last thing that happened was you guys fought and killed the necromancer. You had from the beginning. You guys didn't realize these were bad guys. You went to Arb, realized they're bad guys when a child showed up. So you guys stormed back this way. You then immediately went into here, realizing it was empty. You found the basement eventually. Came down, realized that Civ, a former member of the party and friend to Twiggy and Damien, was at one point down here. She was no longer. Then this wonderful necromancer attacked. You guys killed him. Kevhorn then ate half of his shoulder blade and face off. And then a god showed up in the room, whom I don't have a token for. So in this session, though, unfortunately, it looks like Damien will not be here, and neither will Jiven. So we are going to two-man and a woman this session.
Yeah.
See how it goes. Could be very good, could be very bad.
We got the barbarian. We'll be fine.
Who's at less than half health?
You'll
Fine.
figure it out.
It's fine. Guards can
Okay.
heal. We're good.
Hey, you can.
So, before I dive into my, beginning spiel I do every session, I know you guys were waiting on loot from the previous session.
Yeah, boy.
Twiggy was waiting on loot.
Twiggy was waiting on loot, yes. Twiggy was looting the body of the necromancer,
Freya just wants to go get her axe back.
which she can't go get quite yet.
Yeah, because it's still gassy over there.
Yeah,
And now there's a god.
that's a term for it. Okay, so yeah, Twiggy, upon searching through this necromancer, you find quite a few items, actually. The first thing you notice is that there's just a human arm attached to his belt. It's kind of like looped through the bone that's sticking out at the end. There's like carvings in the bone. It doesn't look like it's really part of anything, but he has that hanging from his belt. You also find 5 rings in his pocket. It's pretty clear that he has all these items on him. I mean, they were like cannibalizing people, so any travelers or people they find, he was keeping the more valuable items. 3 of the rings are just plain gold rings. They are very fancy, very shiny, very, very high quality. You would estimate them to be probably right around 250 gold each. One of the rings, well, 2 of the rings rather, are a lot different looking. They definitely stand out from the 3 golden rings that you found. You also find a pouch that has a strange, like, dust inside of it. If you were to open it up and kind of like look into it or even smell it, touch it, whatever, taste it, it's very different. It's not just a plain bag of dust. I need to stop reading chat when I'm going through this stuff.
Sorry.
No big deal. I just gotta stop reading chat. And that is what you find on the necromancer's body.
Well, I take the rings. I couldn't even touch the hand.
So you took the rings and then left the hand be?
Yep.
What about the dust bag?
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
he
take
said he took the pouch. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I didn't hear that.
Oh,
My bad.
sorry, yeah, that cut out for me as well.
Oh, I can hear him.
Yeah,
Nah, he's real quiet and keeps cutting out for me.
he's not quiet for me, but he cuts out every so often. Okay,
that should be
anyway,
better.
let's fix this. This stream thing keeps switching off of Dungeons and Dragons. Okay, cool. All right. So you collect all of those items. Also in the room, I should remind you guys, there is currently a woman. Jimin is not here. Let me delete that. The necromancer's dead. We can remove him from the map. Yeah, so what do you
After
guys
I
want to
take
do?
those
Damien is kind of going through his books and papers and stuff like that. He is not in the session, so he's kind of on autopilot.
Do
I
I?
wish.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go for it.
Okay, fine. I wish to leave the room I'm in.
I
You do
imagine
so.
you can probably do that.
And upon seeing the upon seeing her, I am just going to be crying. And I'm just gonna start walking towards her. I couldn't stop it.
So you're just crying, walking
Where else
at
could
her.
I go? Yep.
She just kind of like, she has her hands like her like fingers together, like kind of like across like her torso. She's just kind of like standing there watching you walk up to her. Very peculiar of like what you're doing. And then she just says, "Hello, Twiggy," and she kind of like holds her hand out for you to stop getting closer.
Until you'll go. I couldn't save Civ. If she's in a better place.
She is definitely somewhere better. And it's okay.
Head Damien, and then I'll look back at her and be like, "Well, I see you don't have your staff anymore."
No, I was able to remove it completely. Thank you for your help with that.
Anytime.
She like
Stronger.
smiles.
I would have by myself, but and I'll look back at Damien. I'm
I think you cut out
Oh,
for me. Yeah, you definitely cut out for
no.
me.
Yeah, I didn't hear what he said.
You may have to turn your gain back up.
darn.
I heard you say that.
Of course you did.
I didn't hear. I heard that too. Just not hearing what you said to her.
So he's like, I had been stronger. I would have just taken this place by myself, but and I'll look back at Damien and then look back at her. Like create and fight. And I'm just gonna stop and end it right there.
So you're saying to her that you would have taken the place yourself?
Well, yes.
She
If you were stronger, he did make that distinction.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I think I keep missing little parts of it, so I apologize. But yeah, as you say that, she like reaches out and puts her hand on your shoulder, and you suddenly feel a little calmer. Though you still feel, anger and your normal feelings, you just feel kind of like more at peace for that moment. And then she just kind of like looks around the group and she says, perhaps you should go into the other room. And she kind of like points over here. And she says, I think you'll find something that'll keep you at peace.
If it's fucking Bowie, I'm going ballistic.
I doubt it.
And then she kind of I gotta find a token for her. She kind of just like, here, I'm just gonna draw a little picture.
The goddess of stick figures.
There she is. That's her.
Is she green? Like, what does she look like?
She is long blonde hair, very, very, very brown eyes. She is essentially wearing it like, because of the amount of like light she gives off, it's like it looks like she's wearing white clothing, but she wears very earthy tones. You may not know this, right? I may not know this, but she's the goddess of nature.
Okay.
So she wears like a thorn crown, not a thorn crown, but like a leafy kind of like, I don't know, what's that called that holds your hair back or whatever?
Headband?
That's the one. Headband thingy.
Aren't you glad you have a girl in the group?
Very
The
glad.
master of cosmetology.
Exactly. Like her lips are even like an earthy kind of tone. So Twiggy, on entering that room over there, the first thing you notice is leaning in the corner is a shield that looks very familiar.
I will walk up to it and pick it up. And how heavy is the shield?
It's the weight of a normal shield. So what is that?
It's like 6 pounds or something.
6 pounds, I believe. Yeah. I'm looking it up right now, but I can't find it. Oh, there it is. Shield. Yeah, 6 pounds. Yep, you're right on.
Holy crap! I was.
Yep, dead on. But yeah, go ahead.
My left arm. Is there anything else in here that I can tell?
Yeah, so as you kind of like pick up the shield, are you gonna look it over? It's clearly, oops, I'll just tell you. So as you look at it, you realize right away that it is actually Civ's shield. And inscribed on the back of it is her name. And then under it, in a different language, is like a verse pertaining to her god. Strapped to the handle of the shield, you find a journal. And it's the journal that Civ was keeping throughout her travels. And the most recent pages pertain to your guys' time in Hoth and in the cabin and the times the little adventures you guys had before she was taken. One of the last things she wrote was, how she feels confident with you guys and, in your mission and her journey and what she's setting out to accomplish and do.
He is just a fountain of tears, and he's growing more hateful of Damien.
There's gonna be a mage battle soon.
So you're taking. Oh, and as you pick up the shield, and kind of like thumb through the book, her necklace falls out of it and hits the hay below.
Around my neck with so it dangles right with Gaia's necklace.
As soon as you put it on, you feel as though kind of like how would you describe it? As if like nature makes more sense to you. Like you understand that it's storming, it's like a snowstorm outside. Even right now, you have more of like an awareness to the weather. That would be all you find.
Blue.
What was that?
I want to make sure it's not glowing blue.
It's not glowing blue. Kind of gives off like a whitish light though.
Oh, I was gonna say green.
Green would be bad.
Okay, fair enough.
What are the rest of you guys doing? Damien is still just kind of thumbing through his book and on autopilot.
Vera, do you know this woman?
No?
Who are you?
My name is Nylo.
Do I know this name?
She's the goddess of nature.
I started to laugh. Right. The goddess.
Shit, I never thought about this.
Kevhorn looks completely dumbfounded.
Do you have a theory, Max, on who the Goliaths worship? Like, if they worship anyone?
Tempest.
The
Probably, but
yeah, there. Well, the Tempest god would be Tyran. Tiran.
Yeah.
Tempest is the name of God.
Oh.
not in his god thing that he sent us. I don't think, right?
Well, there's here. I'll send it to you guys again, just so you can look over it. But you guys can interpret. I mean, like a Goliath, the barbarians and the Goliaths in the north wouldn't worship the gods in the same way that, say the
Yeah.
humans would. They would see them differently or think they're different. So that's all of the gods. As far as the demon lords, the half gods, the kings, there's more, but that's like the known ones. That's like the new gods of this age.
Yeah. I'm just trying to figure out, like, if it was something that she experienced a lot of when she was young, she might know who that is. But otherwise, she has no context, probably, except that this lady's really pretty.
And yeah.
If you are a god, why are you here? What is your purpose in the mortal realm?
And she kind of like looks over and she calls for Twiggy to come back.
She's a god?
She's the god of nature, supposedly.
And I'll walk over.
Nice shield.
to bed and be like, it was Shivs.
And Kevhorn look at each other and shrug.
Yeah, like, what's that?
Damien looks up at this and like looks at the shield, and he looks up at Twiggy, and Damien also looks really up. I would imagine he would look really upset, to this too, but displaying it in his own character way. And he kind of like goes back to, he closes his book and just begins to listen, not actively participating in the conversation.
He's very guilty.
I'm not portraying him anyway. That would be up to Nick to portray.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
She's like trying to be polite, but she doesn't really know how to talk to this person. So she kind of like gesture towards her axe, and she's got like a hand over this like gaping wound in her shoulder from where he bit her. She's like, is it okay if I go get that?
She like holds, turns to her side and like holds her hand out, like, go ahead, go get your weapon.
Thanks. And she like scurries around her.
Will you be able to heal one of my friends?
Do you speak of her? And she points at Vera.
Recently, she lost one of her arms. Do you think you could?
Ooh, that's a good question.
It depends how she manifested into this world.
It also
Probably.
depends on her personality.
If she likes us or not.
Yeah.
She kind of like, she doesn't like nod yes or no. She just kind of looks at Varea as she picks up the axe, and she says, she actually says calls you by name. She says, Varea, your hand, do you miss it?
Uh, it it's a tool. Things are harder without it, but I can manage.
She nods and she like kind of like waves you closer to her.
She's like, attempt. Gosh darn it! Hang on one second.
Oh, you went over there. There we go.
I cannot move my token and push my push to talk button at the same time. It like freaks my computer out. Sorry.
Oh, okay. No
Um,
problem.
So she like kind of approaches her. She's like trying to make herself like as small as she can. She doesn't really know how to deal with people of authority, let alone gods of authority, short of just showing absolute reverence, because otherwise you get the crap beat out of you. So
And as you get closer, she reaches out and she touches your shoulder. And you, for a moment, you get like a vision of when you were really young as a child, seeing like crudish interpretations of what the god of nature, the goddess of nature, was to your clan. Images of animals that represent her, and it's almost as if you're starting to you understand, like you're kind of putting the two together. She is those images. And then as you are realizing this, you touch your hand to your other hand, and you realize they're both there. And when you look at your shoulder, her hand is missing.
oh oh you shouldn't. Thank you.
Some of us need tools more than others.
Thank you.
I've come to help, to attempt to guide as a thank you for what has already been done for me. And she kind of like looks at Twiggy, looks at Damien, and she says, the North is, as you call it, a hard place. And there are forces at work that I think are beyond understanding it currently. Come here. And she kind of like beckons you all to like come closer to her. So if you guys all move closer, Damien will also join you guys then.
Kevhorn stays a little bit, not far away, but a bit more than the others.
Your shoulders are on the outside of the group.
He's a bit skeptical of this.
Suddenly, you're falling through a portal.
Oh no!
Whoosh.
There's a giant white dragon.
I knew it!
She is the white dragon. No, I'm kidding.
Oh no!
Yeah, you notice a wound on her forehead.
Son of a bitch!
Oh, Rhea, she also did heal you completely.
Oh, cool.
She is a god. Okay, so
I mean, they can be fickle, so you know.
exactly. So as soon as you guys kind of get closer, and Kevhorn, you're like, okay, I'm gonna get close, but I'm gonna keep my distance, and and you're kind of like thinking this to yourself, and you all of a sudden realize that you're no longer looking at anything. None of you are. It's just a white a whiteness of nothing. And in the center of it, you kind of barely make out each other's kind of a vague, how would you describe it? If there was a light shining from behind somebody, you kind of see their
Silhouette?
outline, their silhouette. But you can still see their eyes a little bit. It's a very, I mean, it's a deity, so it's kind of magical, and she's kind of standing in the middle, and you just hear her voice. I am here to show you something. I am here to take you back and perhaps help you, to maybe guide you. And the brightness of the room kind of gets a little bit more. And you notice that the smell of this rotted basement, this undead grossness of the death that surrounded you guys kind of just goes away, and you realize how pungent and how disgusting that cellar actually was as it kind of lifts away from your senses. And you feel a little bit less tired and a little bit less injured and a little bit more relaxed. And as this happens, you guys are suddenly standing inside like a throne room. And when you look up, the ceiling is huge, and you look around and the stone walls are carved and they're etched and they're engraved with beautiful figures. And as you kind of spin around and look, you notice that there's a throne in the back of it. And sitting at it is a skeleton in beautiful armor. And it sits there kind of almost as if it was alive. It's one hand on its chin and the other hand on its knee. Twiggy, you immediately recognize... Oh, my cat just knocked something over. You immediately recognize you guys are in that throne room that you and Damien had entered before.
Yep.
Right as you notice this, the door, you turn and look at the door behind, and the door busts open, and in comes Aren. And just as this happens, he begins to speak, but you don't understand any of the words. So you look back at the skeleton, which you know is Artemis. Just out of the corner of your eye, you look to your left, and you see an old man standing in the corner, a man that wasn't there before. He is wearing tattered robes, he has a long staff and a beard to his knees. You immediately recognize him as Hallmund. He stands kind of watching Aren speak to Artemis, and eventually you even see yourself, looking healthier and, some odd amount of time younger from before, and followed by Damien and Gaia, and then even Civ, as you guys all run into the room. And as you guys all get there, you look back at Hallmund, you see him laughing, and then the room kind of goes white. After a few seconds, you realize you are all standing on that airship again, witnessing the battle between Ithial and your group as you guys fought this white dragon on this airship. You see Damien tied up in the rigging, and you see Varea getting ready to jump onto the dragon. Kevhorn, strangely, Kevhorn looks as he does now, though. Before he fell, he looks gray still, and he looks unhealthy. As the battle's going on, again, maybe at this point, you guys all notice the out-of-place old man kind of standing off to the side of the ship. Robes tattered, his beard long to his knees, looking up at Briarios and kind of laughing to himself. And the world falls bright. Upon the next vision, we see a young boy. Unmistakably, this child is Damien. He's no more than 10 years old. He sits at a table reading a book, but the room around him is completely on fire. Fire engulfs everything as the room begins to collapse, and just as we think this boy is about to be killed and burned alive, he vanishes. No more than a blink of an eye later, we see Damien sitting in the room. Though the fire is gone, nothing is being destroyed, nothing is of destruction. But in the corner, we do see that same old man, kind of laughing and smiling to himself. Just as your vision falls bright again, it comes back into focus, and we see a girl standing with the others of her kind. This girl you recognize as a very, very young Varea. And if you would like to tell your origin story, yes?
Sure. Just the first part?
Yeah, not the other
The
the
fight.
yeah.
Okay. So, when the scene opens, there's a group of Goliaths in a clearing, a forest, snow-covered, clearly somewhere up north. Upon closer inspection, you can see that it's a group of adolescents. The oldest is perhaps in his mid to late teens, and the two youngest are probably not even teenagers yet. 5 of the Goliaths surround the smallest of the group, a female with light gray skin and long brown hair. She's smaller than the others and clearly older than the youngest, but not by much. They're harassing and heckling her. The biggest and the loudest grunts, "Why did you wander off, runt?" And he delivers a harsh kick to her chest that drops her to her knees. In a voice that you recognize, but is perhaps a little bit more childish. I saw another way to accomplish the task that would give me a head start. I'm not as fast as you, Molig. The smaller female whimpers. And she's attempting to stand back up and move to a better position so that she can fight back. The oldest female of the group sneers and she says, "So, you are cheating?" Her hair is pulled back in long, dirty braids. Her clothing is stained with blood and of her most recent kill. And as she steps forward before the smaller female can stand back up, she shoves her to the ground with one massive paw-like hand. All of them begin chanting, "Cheater! Cheater!" as they move to shove and kick her and keep her down. And then there's a voice. "Indeed she is. Not as fast as Molig, but she will be much easier to control." And it's one that they seem to recognize. There's a look of understanding on the others' faces. And as the recognition appears on them, a look of horror appears on Molig's face as a blade punctures through his chest. He splutters for only a second before dropping to the ground, already bleeding out. In the confusion that follows, the other oldest member, the female, is also finished, her head soaring in a gory arc to rest at Varea's feet. And then they see him, a hulking, gluttonous figure, Kuthek, the recently exiled disgrace of the herd. Despite his name, Slow Hunter, and his deceptively heavy build, Kuthek makes quick work of the youngest children, knocking them out. Though for Varea, that's hardly difficult as she was halfway to unconsciousness anyway, and tying them up before slinging them into a nearby cart and hurrying away. As he prepares her and ties her up, Varea thinks she hears him say, "Sorry, child, but really this is a kindness to you. They would have killed you anyway." And when she wakes, Varea is disoriented. She's tied with harsh rope to a tree across from Vulak, the 8-year-old, who often teased her because he's taller than she is already, and Agvek, a wiry 14-year-old who knew how to charm the stronger, bigger kids into being his friend in a way that Varea could never accomplish. The sun was much hotter here, and she remembered before she was knocked out that the heat the sun was much hotter here than that of what she remembered before she was knocked out. The heat practically rising from the earth in visible waves. Part of that could be that they were stripped of their protective layers of clothing and hide and leather, now in simple tattered linen shifts, shoeless and weaponless. Before she was able to speak to the others, the grotesque form of Kuthek returned, saying, "Good, you're awake. That means you can walk yourselves, whelps," before untying them and tying them together and marching them across the scorching sands.
So, upon seeing that, everything kind of fast forwards as if you're watching an entire journey of these children kind of being carted across the landscape, down through the north, down through the marshes, across the desert, where you eventually end up in this. It looks as if a titan or some type of massive giant was buried underground here, and just its head remains, its skeletal structure. And the lower jaw has been made into a gladiator pit. Its teeth sharpened to a point to be used during battle. In the eye sockets were built out these wooden platforms where the rulers of these pits kind of they rule. They keep track, and all around there are stands and bleachers and sitting areas and platforms for those to cheer on these fights. And as if you want to tell the next part.
Okay. Time passes. And the next time you see Varaya, she's older. 2 summers older, to be exact. Now 12. You watch as the skinny, gangly form of this Goliath youth is shoved into the middle of the arena. There's no visible enemy. The crowd around her cheers and chants, a word that she doesn't recognize. The magically amplified voice of the announcer rings harshly over the din. Since this small giant, Fury, has done so well in group combat, it has been charged that she be tested alone. People, I give you the Scorpion. This is met with a wave of sound strong enough to rattle the sharpened bones surrounding the pit. Or she thought it was the sound. But the rattling and the rumbling doesn't stop. In fact, it begins to make it difficult for the young Goliath to stand. Realizing that whatever it is coming from beneath the ground, she begins to scramble, looking for a place that will get her higher off the ground. She just manages to climb a fallen crate, if I could read, that was placed, providing a sporting spot of cover, when a hulking black body the size of 2 slave carts bursts from the ground where she had been standing. The creature was large, and its black body shone dully in the blazing desert sun. Its sharp pincers are the size of cart horses, and arced above it is a wicked tail tipped with a stinger dripping black, viscous venom. Vera's scream lodged in her throat, and she scrambled to look away from the monster, looking for where the masters had hidden the weapons that she was to use. Finding an axe quickly, she spins to face the terror, and in that time, it's found her and struck out with a pincer to grab her. Now being pulled off the ground in a crushing grip of the beast, she felt the familiar haze take over her. From that point on, the fight, from her perspective, is a blur of fear and anger and pain. In dreams, she can remember pulling herself free and crippling one of its pincers. She remembers the burning, searing pain of the venom being pumped into the exposed shoulder of her upper back. The continued nerve-deadening path the venom takes as it moves quickly towards her heart. And she remembers getting the upper hand just for a moment before she loses control of her limbs and thought due to the pain. And getting it to bring its considerable weight onto the sharpened teeth of the Titan as she attempts to crawl and hide between them. This is enough damage to end the creature. Emerging from beneath it, she stumbles to the center of the ring, limbs twitching and eyes rolling as the toxin courses through her blood. The jeers and cheers of the crowd dull through the pounding in her head. The guards come to rechain her, but the pain keeps her in a prolonged form of that blood haze. And she attempts to fight them away, even though she knows she shouldn't. And even as the pain gets worse. And finally, the excruciating pain as the toxin floods her brain and heart, and she collapses.
In this line, young Varela is killed. She dies later that evening from the poison and the wound she sustains. 3 weeks later, when the dead caller arrives to trade coin for flesh, her rotting body is purchased. And having no medical use, the dead caller throws her rotting corpse in the endless pit someplace deep in the desert, never to be known again. As you kind of all witness her body twitching and seizing from the venom in the middle of this giant skull of a gladiator pit, you notice an old man in the stand standing up. Twiggy, once again you recognize this man as Hallmund. As he rises, the crowd remains the same, but this time we now see Varela begin to stand up from the center of the ring. Her limbs twitching still, her eyes rolling. The wound on her back, though, only a scratch this time. As the guards run out to chain her, one carries a small vial in his hand, and he thrusts it into her mouth as they bind her arms and legs and begin to drag her back to the slave quarters. She has been saved. As the world kind of goes bright again, we come into focus. And we see a drow boy. This is obviously Jiven. He plays near the edge of an underground canyon with some friends. He's young and he's careless, and he slips as a ball one of them is throwing sails past him. He goes after the ball, and you see him begin to disappear over the edge into a long, dark pit. As we watch him fall, he disappears into the blackness. You look to your left and you notice the boy is back. He's laying on his back playing with the same ball. His friends are gone. As you look farther to your left, you see walking down a hallway an old man. Twiggy, once again, you recognize him as Hallmund. More brightness fills your vision, and it comes into view. We see a half-elf boy, maybe 7 years old. He dances and sings around a halfling woman, not realizing this woman is an adult. He taunts and teases with dreamy eyes. Pulling at her hair, he is met with a swift slap to the face. He falls down as the woman begins to storm off. Laughing, his fathers approach him and remedy the situation and pick him up from the ground. As you see the world fly past, it stops on the same boy. He's now maybe 17 years old. We see him with the most beautiful dwarven woman sitting next to him. As intimate as this scene is, it was not meant to last. Within a moment, the large wooden door within the room is forced open, and standing there in king's garb is the dwarven king himself. As he begins to charge at this half-elven boy, the guards sail past and grab him and haul him away. The last sight we see there is a father scolding his princess daughter for what she has done. Moments later, we see Twiggy up on a wooden platform, his head locked in place as a rather large, sharp guillotine swings precariously above. As the charges are read, a rope is snapped and the guillotine drops. With a thud, we hear Twiggy's head land in the basket below. As a small crowd cheers, we see Twiggy's father in prison. Dwarven guards walk the halls as one of them turns to look. Laughing, we see Twiggy sitting on the same bench, laughing with his fathers. They regale of their adventure up until this point as Twiggy begins to describe how he was able to woo the princess of this dwarven kingdom. The four of them laughing, recounting this tale. In the cell next to him, Twiggy, while watching yourself in this memory, you notice Hallmund in the cell next to you guys. The world kind of falls bright. After a small delay, you see a white room again. You hear the woman, the goddess. Kevorn, by now you might have an idea of why I'm showing you all this. The truth is, you have been dead. And she kind of looks at all of you. You are all dead. Though Kevorn, you died ages ago defending your family. Hundreds of years have passed, and you have wandered to the north hundreds of times before seeking answers. You do not remember it, But you fought against the dragons in your homelands, and your life was extinguished during a long-fought battle. You have forgotten. The North is not a place for answers, but is a place to forget. It draws spirits and then consumes them. A place to seek retribution for yourself. Kevhorn, go home. Be with your family. And as you're all standing there, you see Kevhorn standing closer to this goddess. A glimmer seems to open up. Through it we see an old woman, a dwarf. She seems to be looking down into a crib. Kevhorn, return to your mother. Place your spirit where it belongs. And then she waits.
I look at all my friends, or my most recent companions. I nod and I step through the portal.
As Kevhorn enters the glimmer, unless anyone wants to do anything, I should say that. You guys are actually all there.
We'll be like, no! I lost Chloe for you.
As Kevhorn enters the glimmer, we seem to be seeing him get younger as he gets closer to it. His skin grows softer and more healthy, and his armor and weapons and his gear and the toil of the North begins to just dissolve off of him. By the time he reaches through the portal, he is just a toddler. As he fully enters, he completely disappears from view, and we hear a small baby dwarf cry out for his mother as the glimmer closes and the smile of an old dwarf woman picks up her child. As the world falls back to normal, you are all standing just outside of Arb. Your eyes adjust to the already darkened sky of the storm raging, and the snow rages on, and the wind howls with ferocity. The woman before you, no longer radiant and bright, she appears normal, and as a traveler. Her walking stick is tall, and her face is nearly hidden under her hood. The snow wages war around you, and the wind picks up, and she speaks to you all. You are all dead, died ages ago, as destiny has meant it to be. Hallman has been messing with things. He has done so for eons, and he needs to be stopped. The other gods are tired of his incessant meddling in the lives of mortals. Sadly, a god cannot kill a god, and I have attempted this sort of connection before, though I feel you are all different. I have managed to pluck you group from his grasp, removed you from his timeline. He should not be able to track you anymore. While you walk the same world and timeline, where you stand now is where you are meant to be. Save these lands, I beg of you. And as she finishes that, she turns and begins to leave. Walking the opposite direction of Arb.
Will I ever see you again?
She turns back and smiles, and she kind of like looks at your chest where the necklace would be hanging, and she says, I am always close by.
You, me, drink. After this is all done.
She laughs, and she says, look to the sunlight, and I'll be there.
Do it.
And then as she kind of like wanders off down the path, the snow picks up real heavy and kind of lets down, and then you don't see her anymore.
I'm so confused.
So currently, Twiggy and Vrea are sitting outside of the path leading to Arb. You guys had walked down this path before.
Weren't we just here? How? What just happened?
I'd like to look around.
You are on the same path. Before you, to your right, is, upon walking far enough, you will be out in the frozen field. To your left would be Ithiel Bay, and kind of middle-ish, northeast-ish is Arb, the town of Arb. You can see the kind of like the smoke, kind of, and the little bit of a faint light from the buildings and the kind of like letting off. Well, you feel a lot more rejuvenated.
Don't you put us to the correct time?
That's what she says. She says you are where you were meant to be. No, where you
Does that mean-
stand now is where you are meant to be.
Is this before they killed all those kids? We should. Where's Damien? And Kevin? Where? I don't understand.
Damien pops his head out of a snow pile. And he's like, what? Where have I heard that. Okay. And like he walks up onto the path. He's also confused.
Okay, fair enough.
If we're where we're supposed to be, and if we were supposed to save the people in the fort, maybe we should go and check that out first.
Yep. I agree.
I'll shoot a look at Damien and be like, are you going to disagree this time?
He just mutters something that you can't really, like, inaudible noise, and begins to step towards that direction.
I'm no great like strategist or anything, but I nearly got taken out by the one guy last time. If there's a bunch of them, I don't know how much help I'm gonna be.
I don't know if he was actually there. Been there. Remember, it got ransacked? So that means that away from the place at the time the god showed up and destroyed everything. So if that's the case, we're probably just dealing with normal bandits.
I'm just saying we should be careful.
Damien mutters something inaudible.
All right. Let's
Yeah. Let's go save some kids.
So, as you kind of all spin around and turn to look, to begin to walk back towards for the second time, in who knows, as many days possibly, you notice another one of those glimmers. And after a second, oh, hang on one second. Had to clear my throat, I'm sorry. After a second, falling out into the ground with a thud, you see just this red, like, cloak just whoosh, and he hits the ground and tumbles a bit, and not even a second later, something else just flies out of this glimmer, and just almost as if it's on a horizontal flight path, and it smacks into the ground and just goes skidding across the snow, and kind of like pushing the snow as he hits it. And by the time he gets done sliding maybe 30 or 40 feet, he's completely buried in snow, and all you see is a bow sitting on top of it. After another second, Twiggy, you immediately recognize a bow kind of like peek out of the glimmer.
I am crying and I'm rushing towards it.
So as you
Bowie!
run towards, wait, which one are you running to? There are two. There's one on the ground and one peeking out of the glimmer.
Out of the glimmer.
As you like run towards it, it just like shoots out at you and like just smacks into your face, like bloodying your lip. And then like it smacks you in the face again, and then like again, and then again, and then you grab it, and like it keeps trying to hit you, but it just calms down after a second.
I hold it tight and I'm like, just like old times. Start getting back up. I'm like, I'll turn around and be like, I got Bowie back. I got Calphorn back. And I look at Bowie.
She made it seem like he wasn't supposed to.
So the red cloak stands up, and it's clearly Aren, and he just like he's dusting off himself, and he kind of like stands up and immediately drops this massive war axe in his hand, this great axe, and like it thuds into the snow and goes like through it, like crunching down to the rocks below, and then lands in the snow, and he just goes, oh, that's really heavy there. And he kind of like turns and looks at the buried thing in the snow away from him, and he goes, oh, well, I'm not entirely sure who that is. I went through quite a different locations. I don't know, someone stowed away or something, but I think I brought someone with me. And he kind of like stands up and starts trying to pick up the war axe.
Hey, Ron, how is it going?
Oh, hello, Mr. Twiggy. Mr. Damien. Oh, hello there. He gets all bashful looking at Varea.
She waves.
He like awkwardly waves back.
So, what do you got there?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I went on quite the trip. I went and got the Warhammer for Dagon. I'm sorry. Oh, no, the War Axe. No, the Warhammer comes from Lord Vincent, I think. Or maybe that was somebody else. Oh, well, either way, I got this big axe, and it's mighty heavy. I'm going to put it in my bag, I think.
Do you want help?
Oh, yes, if you wouldn't mind. And he kind of like tries to like he like picks up the handle and like for you to grab onto.
Yeah, she'll walk up and grab it. And
So-
she kind of like hefts it to like test how heavy it is.
It's definitely a little bit heavier, but it feels remarkably balanced. I mean, it's that you could put your finger in the middle of it and it would balance on your finger. It's extremely
And
well
then it would
created.
break it, but you know.
No, you can wield this axe without much of a problem. It feels very I'll use the word magical in your hands.
Yeah.
And it's actually a +2 great axe.
Holy shit.
And
I
this
can do so much damage.
so you can't read it. You can't read it, but I'm going to tell you what
No?
it is. Just so you know, it is actually the axe of Dagon himself, the dragonborn barbarian who fought with Artemis and all of them against the Black Dragonflight. And the great thing about this great axe is you can throw it.
Oh,
That's amazing.
It's 20-30, so you can't throw it more than like 20 feet, and 30 is a
Well, I mean,
disadvantage or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. That's really cool.
So as long as you
What-
have this, that is what it is.
Okay, and she's gonna ask him like where he got it. Or where did you get this? Where are you taking it?
Oh, well, we need to get all the items together so we can go off and defeat Jungarith.
This is really nice. Do you know someone that can use it?
Oh, well, you seem pretty keen on using it there, miss. I think you should hold on to it until we need it for the spell.
Oh, good. That's what I was getting at.
Oh, well, you can definitely have it there. It looks like it belongs in your hands.
Thank you. This is a good day. I regrew my hand. I got a new axe. A goddess said she likes me.
Freya's having a great day.
Yeah. So +2 great axe of Dagon.
Yeah, he's like the king of all of Dragonborns. You may have heard the name before living in the north. The Dragonborn came to Arb at one point in history, and I'm sure the tribes warred between the Goliaths and the
Yeah.
Dragonborns.
How do you spell it?
Dakon.
Okay, good, because I might have spelled it with an E. Okay, cool.
Who do you think that is over there? He points at the snow pile with the bow sitting on it.
Well,
Jeevan?
one way to find out. Twiggy will stroll on over to him and be like, "Hey there, my friend. I'm Twiggy," and he'll reach out one of his hands.
by 3 of my dead.
Nope, not Jiven.
You hear a rather deep and raspy voice speak up. Vythria, am I dead?
Dad.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So you heard what I said?
Yep.
Yeah, can you not hear
Okay.
Twiggy?
No, yeah, I can. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wasn't sure if someone was
Yeah.
saying things. What
Yeah.
would you say, Twiggy?
I said, only if we're all dead.
Who? Who are you? Where am I? Why am I so cold?
My name is Twiggy. You are in the frozen north. Over there is the frozen field. Over that way is a horde of bandits. That way there is and I'll point over to Arp, a peaceful little village that will probably get ransacked in the near future.
How did I how did I get here?
Rotation, mage stuff.
I
I
should
think
be
it
dead.
was more divine than that.
I should be dead. I deserve to be dead. Yeah, at this point. The voice, you finally get a face to match the voice. If you've ever seen a Dragonborn before, you would think this is one of them, but there is something different. At his back is a pair of long, bony wings. On a normal dragon, there are bone attached by membrane. On these wings, the membrane has been frayed and cut. There are several holes patched through it, and the wings look very sickly, and they're bleeding at the tips. You can see now where he landed in the snow. There was a trail of blood. It was slight, but there. He's meek looking. His skin is a dark, dark black. His eyes a piercing green. As he stands, you can see several daggers laced throughout his body. A necklace of green pearls around his neck. And as he stands, he dusts off his clothing and looks at you all. By
Hey, are
Farah.
you one of the
Who? I need a drink. Last thing I remember, and he starts trailing off and talking to himself for a minute. Twiggy? Twiggy, was it?
Yes, sir, the
For
one and only.
For it points at Twiggy.
Twiggy. What? Where am I? What is this place?
Like I said, you're in the frozen north. That way over there, I point to a barren field of snow, is the frozen field. A good place to die.
Oh, Mr.
And if
Twiggy.
we look down,
Mr. Twiggy, just hold on a minute there. I think he's asking, because I don't think he's from this realm. I think he might be from a different one. Is that true, mister?
Yes, I'm from the Feywild. Is this not
Oh.
the Feywild?
Oh, no. Oh, I did a bad thing again. Oh, Mr. Damien's gonna be mad. Good thing he's distracted over there, grumbling to himself. He's gonna be mad at me. Don't no one tell him.
don't worry, your secret is safe with me.
I won't tell anybody.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, so when I was traveling, I had to use the spell, and I went through the Feywild because I didn't want to go around the beginning of time, and I wanted to skip it because that's a scary time, all the fire and all the dragons and it's not good. So I went through the Fey, and I thought I heard someone yelling, and then I was like, oh, well, I don't know. It doesn't concern me or anything. They didn't call my name. They weren't like, oh, hey, Aaron, come say hello. So I just kept going. And then I was here, and he must have fallen through. Hi, I'm Aaron. And he holds his hand out to you.
He steps forward slightly and snorts a bit of snow clearing from his nostrils, and he reaches out his black scaled hand and grabs onto Aaron and shakes. Draskin, nice to meet you.
Yeah, well, now I can send you back maybe if you want to come with me. I have to go back through my journey here. But if you want to go home,
You're telling me you took me from my realm?
oh, I think maybe you fell through my portal here, or my portal. You wouldn't call it a portal. My glimmer. I called it a glimmer.
Friend, I think you just saved my life.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah. Well, good. I'm glad that you're still alive, sir.
What plane is this?
Well, this one here is, I believe they call it material? I don't know.
Material plane.
Well, there's gods sometimes, and I know that they walk among us, and sometimes the dead is alive, and the alive is dead, and sometimes all at the same time. Even it's kind of crazy. And right now they're all attacking and killing people, and these guys are trying to stop it. Hey, I think you would be a great help.
Well, judging by the fact that you saved my life, I think I owe you.
Oh well. Oh, you don't know me much. I think you should help these guys out. And he points at Vrea and Twiggy and Damien.
Draskin has the face of sadness. He looks broken. His eyes droop. His face, although hard to tell on the black, deep black scales, you can see his face is weary and distraught. Well, I can't go back where I'm from, and I owe you, so... And he looks at Vera and Twiggy. Hi, I'm Draskin. I suppose I'm going to be venturing with you guys if you don't mind.
You have come to the right place. You are lucky indeed. You get to meet Twiggy from the Southern Isles. I'm a bard, as you can tell. This here, and I point over at Vera, and I go, this here is Vera. Be careful, she does have kind of a temper. Just saying. And I scoot a little bit away from her. That over there, the grumpy one in the book. As long as he has the book in front of him, you're completely fine.
No. Damien grumbles.
Like an old man.
Check out a bandit hideout going down this path. Are you okay in the cold?
I am not used to it, but where I come from, we are used to heavy winds, so although it is different, I will suffice.
His clothes are all bloody.
As you can see now, his clothes are torn and ripped. It looks as if he'd been tossed around and not so much beaten, but torn at. He sort of pulls his cloak up. He's not wearing any armor. He's wearing a simple black cloak with what looks like deep brown tunic and grayish pants. Bandits. They are not... I mean, we have stories of bandits, but I've never actually fought one. Sure, if you need my help, I would be glad to assist you if that is what Aaron... Right, Aaron?
Oh, yeah.
Aaron.
That's close enough there, sir.
If that's what Aaron wishes.
Hey, Aaron.
Hey, Aaron.
D nice.
Nice. Balake. Timothy.
Love
Oh
that
god.
skit.
I know.
It's so good.
It is one of the best.
At this
go ahead.
point, he goes over to his and picks up his bow and laces it on his back. And then noticing all his arrows are scattered about the place. Crap. And he starts picking them all up one by one.
I will go. Well, I'm sorry about that. That could have been, and I'll hold up Bowie. Be like, yeah, Bowie has a mind of his own. Don't you, Bowie? Yeah, you want to kill me, don't you?
Little
And I put him
snowballs
back
like shoot up in the air. Like you Bowie starts dry shooting, trying to shoot the snow at you.
put him back over my back, just like, ha. Our new friending guy. He's such a kidder. He loves me.
Freya looks at Twiggy. You're very odd.
Well, if I wasn't odd, people wouldn't pay attention to me, and I wouldn't be very good of a bard. I think I would end up like Damien.
He grumbles inaudibly.
Sorry, you'll have to forgive Damien. We died. And my head will droop down.
Oh, I'm so sorry for your loss.
Well, she might not have died. Let's get going.
Oh, where are you all heading?
Right? Didn't we decide we maybe got put back in time so that we could stop the thing we were supposed to stop?
You all went back in time now. That doesn't sound right.
No?
How did you all go back in time now?
We fought a necromancer, and he shot some magic at us, and we ended up over here, and just a bunch of weird things.
There
Oh,
was a goddess.
oh God! Oh, which one?
No, she just thinks it's a goddess. It was a necromancer that we were fighting. She got hit pretty hard.
Oh,
I'm not smart, but I think I would remember that much.
Do you remember getting bit?
Yeah. It hurt.
That.
And then I was angry. And then I don't remember a lot about how he died, but then there was some time and I calmed down. And then she gave me my hand back. That wasn't a necromancer that did that. And she holds up her hand like directly in his face.
he like goes,
Fair.
oh, and he claps at seeing your hand back too. Aaron does.
That was goddess. That wasn't that weird cannibal thing guy person.
Blacked out after it bit you.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I always do when I get hurt and then I get angry and I don't.
Oh well,
Bad.
it sounds like you guys all went through quite the adventure there. I don't know what happened here, but it maybe. Oh, I don't know. I don't know how you could have gone back in time. Whether it was the Necro. Did you get his name?
He's part of the Horde.
Did we?
Oh, the Horde. I don't know. No, I don't think you guys ever got his name.
Never did.
Um.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because he was gonna tell me, and then I was like, I don't care.
Right. You guys just started fighting him as soon as he showed up. So.
No, I asked him. I was
Oh,
like, "What's
yeah.
your name?" And he's like, "I have many names." Blah blah blah. And she's
Yep.
like, "I don't care. I'm gonna punch you in the face."
You didn't want to
And
play
then
his game.
And then she threw her axe. So.
Yes.
Nat ones.
Yay, nat ones. So Aaron's just kind of like, oh well, I don't quite understand that. I think maybe that I need to go talk with somebody who might know about this. Maybe find out what happened to you guys.
Don't worry about it,
But
Aaron.
we need to check out that.
There's
Well, you-
just a bandit place that we need to take out. You want to come with?
Bandits. Oh, what bandits?
There's some bandits in the area. They eat said children. They take the body parts and fuse them onto other people. Heck, just look at Vera. She got a hand back.
I don't know.
Oh, it sounds like you guys are talking about Caval. Did you say bandits and eating people? Were they children?
Yes.
Oh no. Did he use really dark magic?
Yep.
And you say you killed him?
once.
Oh,
That's because you blacked out. You don't know
He was a
what.
tiefling. Don't forget that.
oh yeah, he was
What?
a tiefling.
Kevhorn says from beyond the grave. He was a tiefling.
I remember very specifically the taste of tiefling.
Anyways, Aaron, I think that aren't you on a very important mission? Your master is going to be expecting you.
Oh, Mr. Hallmond?
Oh.
Yeah, you just now noticed that?
Yeah. She's not intelligent, you guys. Freya says that in character. She's like, oh.
Aaron, where have all of the weapons been going that you've been taking?
Oh, I put him in my bag.
So where are you off to next?
Oh, well, I knew that I needed to come here to help you guys because, well, there's lots to do. The hordes are coming through from the north and through the cliffs of Lordim, so they're gonna go through there and probably destroy all of the Winter's Might, and then the town of Kimhur is gone. No, it's just gone. There's nothing left there. And then I know the tribes of the north are going down through the frozen field and along the coastline. I think we don't know. They might be going to attack Arb. It's all quite very exciting. And then well, I know that there already was a horde that went through the Frostfall Path and attacked the south. And I know the elves down there are trying to fight them. So I have so much to do, and I have to get these weapons and get them over to Hallmond before it's too late.
Where's Helmand at? I thought that Winter's Might, like you said, is gonna fall pretty soon. Surely he has something planned.
Well, I don't quite remember that. All I know is that I wrote down in this little red book about what I need to do in order to stop the enemy, and Mr. Hallmond said that this is what I need to do. He pulls like this little red journal.
For it and go. Can I see it there, Aaron?
Oh, Mr. Hallmond said I should never give this book up to anybody. And he kind of pulls it back a little bit.
Not even Damien?
Well, Mr. Damien, see, Mr. Hallman said that you guys would try and trick me into giving you the journal, and that I'm supposed to keep it so I can get my mission.
Why do you think he doesn't want us to have it? We've been through so much, and we're helping him with this stuff. Surely there's something that you can... Surely we should be able to see what's going on, right? These are leaving us in the dark. We need some direction.
The sound of a gigantic dice.
It's actually a little dice on a loud wooden table, but yeah.
Fair enough.
I missed my mouse pad, which is what I usually roll on. Yeah, he just as you're saying that, he's holding the journal towards you and kind of looking away.
I'll take it and I'll start reading it.
So as you go to take it from him, there's a resistance, and it's not his hand holding the journal.
Black magic again.
Yeah, it seems as if it's stuck to his palm, and he doesn't notice that this is happening. He's just kind of waiting for you to take it.
Can you help me? I can't get it off of his hands. The book's too heavy.
Can
Are we just ripping it from him? Is that...
He's trying to give it to us. It's just that magic's holding it to his body.
Okay. Yeah, she'll try. She'll give it the old college try. Varia stoops down and takes hold of the book. Strength.
Yes.
Okay. I'm not raging, so.
You guys
20.
roll with advantage though, because you're helping Twiggy.
Her.
not great.
So, as you pull at it, it like leaves his hand a little bit, and like you notice as it's kind of pulling away from him. If you look at his face, it's like his face goes from like the happy, chummy look, and his eyes kind of droop a little bit, and his smile kind of starts to go away, and the book kind of like goes closer back to his hand, and he goes back to his normal, aloof self.
Oh, that's weird.
I'll look to our new friend and be like, "Can you help us pull this book off, please?"
Are you alright, Aaron?
Oh, I'm not supposed to give this book to Mr. Twiggy, but he really wants it.
I am not. Sorry, wrong voice. I am not strong. I am good with a bow, but other than that, I am not capable of such strength. She is far more capable of this than I. I mean, if you want a dagger thrown 60 feet and an apple skewered off a rat's head, I'm your guy.
I'm gonna try something.
Would athletics have been more accurate?
Oh yeah, that's what I thought you were rolling. Sorry.
Oh no, I rode straight strength and I have much better athletics.
Well,
So,
what are you gonna try,
what would
Twiggy?
your bonus be? Oh, right.
I was
Well,
wanting to hear what
I'm
Twiggy was gonna
try
try.
to get that thing off of him like what I did with the goddess. I'm gonna use knock.
So, as soon as like Varaya is like realizing, she could put more strength into this pull, she grabs onto the book, and you just hear this echoing, loud clang, this click sound, and the book just goes flying off as Varaya just puts everything she has into it, and she flies back into the snow with it in her hands.
And I'll whistle and be like, "That's my girl."
And as soon as she does, you hear Aren, "Oh, what the hell is going on?" And you look back at him, and he looks older and more aged, and his stubble all over his face, and his hair looks a little bit grayer, and his eyes a little more sunken. And he's just looking around, all confused.
On,
Oh shit!
What?
you're on.
Who the? Fuck!
You're on. It's Twiggy. It's okay.
Who?
Master Aaron, are you okay?
Where is Artemis? Where? Oh my, where is everybody? How did I get here?
Okay. Tell me what was the last thing that you remember, and I may be able to fill it in.
He looks like he might have a panic attack. Like he's just like
Did-
breathing super shallow, like really like starting to lose it.
Didn't that elf say he recognized him?
Elf, what elf?
Maybe we should
Ah.
go back to the boat.
Bararios?
Yes.
It wasn't Bararius though, was it? I thought it was
No,
the other one.
no, yeah,
I
you're right, you're right.
That
Did one of you say Bararios? Is he here?
His dagger is what I have, so it's
Why?
actually one of his buddies.
Why do you have his dagger?
He gave it to me.
Oh, he's not
Ooh.
too far from here, actually.
And he just falls unconscious on the ground.
Oh,
I rushed to his side.
He's breathing, but he's passed out.
Master Bararios. No, fuck. Master. Damn it. Master Aaron. Master
He's-
Aaron.
You can roll a medicine check if you want.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's nappy time.
He's dead.
No, yeah, you think he's dying. He's on the verge of death right now.
I start hyperventilating.
Now he is too.
Master Aaron. Pass out. No. No.
Yeah, he's dead. Oh my god, he's
dying.
gonna die. He needs a doctor right now. Like, this is bad.
David! God damn it!
Ferreira, please save us.
she walks over. He's not dead. He's just unconscious.
Damien
He's
chimes in and says the same thing. He goes, "Yeah, I think we just need. I wish I could mimic Nick's voice. Yeah, we just need to get him to a doctor."
See his chest's moving. It means he's breathing.
Something happened. Something happened when you took that book. I suggest you give it back to him.
No, that's not gonna happen.
I think I like this Aaron better than the other one. Don't get me wrong, the other one was nice, but this one seems more authentic.
Here's the question that we have to ask: do we believe a goddess, or do we believe?
Freya just holds up her hand.
I'll
Does
be like, I choose you. What do you say?
does Aaron have a bag at his side?
He has like a pack that he wears across his side. Yeah.
All right. Is it small enough for me to try to sleight of hand it?
What are you trying to sleight of hand? Like just take the bag in
I'm
general?
gonna try to take it.
It's currently wrapped
If it's
around
small
him
enough.
in his shoulder. You can roll.
Okay. 23.
Yeah, you're able to get the bag off of him, kind of while Varea and Twiggy and Damien's just kind of do his own thing, so they don't notice you take the bag off of him.
I want to store it under my cloak.
You currently have his bag.
Okay. And I want to call it Vera, was it?
Freya,
Half
hey?
giant. Come, help me carry him.
The Goliath.
Oh,
He doesn't know.
oh, you're an actual Goliath. I just called you that because you're big.
Fair. I'm actually kind of small for my race. Wait.
And at this point, you can tell that this man's only probably about 5'8". So like how taller is Vera?
6'10".
Yeah, you tower over him by over a foot. So he's like, yeah, you're small. Oh boy.
Anyway, she bends down and picks up Aaron. Gently.
He is breathing a little bit calmer now, but he's still asleep. Or dying, so you think.
I believe Vera now that he's not so close to death.
Hey, Varric,
Yeah,
can
I
have
pointed out that he was bleeding.
Oh, sorry.
that
Yeah,
he
I forgot
that he
you.
was breathing.
Yeah.
I almost said bleeding.
He's bleeding out!
He is dying!
He's bleeding from somewhere. Alright. So what are you guys gonna do with this passed
Oh
out
yeah.
Aaron?
Varea probably dropped it
Okay, I'm gonna go and pick it
when
up.
she realized that it made him act weird.
I'm gonna mage hand pick it up.
So your
Smart.
mage hand plunges into the snow where Varea had dropped the book, and you pull it out, and the snow just kind of falls off of it, and your mage hand is now holding the book.
Mage hand next to me. Like it's attached to my arm type, but pointing the other way.
So you're just gonna make sure the book doesn't touch you.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, you're able to do that without any problem.
Okay. Well, Damien will have to go and look through this.
Damien is oddly not interested right now.
Guess I'll have to.
It's as if his mind isn't interested in anything right now. Like it's missing.
I start
Guys,
flicking
give-
rocks
you know
at
what?
Damien. No.
What did you do with the investigation?
The book. See if anything.
Roll a history check. As well.
Hey. Let's see.
Nice, Twiggy.
So upon investigating this book, you notice right away that upon the way the book looks, and based on the stories you've heard before, and you've probably heard many versions of this story, but it looks as if it is the book from the keep when Artemis and his group destroyed Jungareth and the Black Dragonflight.
It, like weaknesses to the Black Dragonflight or anything like that?
So you're gonna open it with the mage hand, or are you opening it?
I'm gonna put it on the ground and have the mage hand just flip through it while I'm just looking at it.
So because of the storm raging around you, you open the book and like you see some pictures, like looks like some glyphs and some spells, and the wind immediately just starts blowing the pages all around. You're not able to really look at it for very long. You get the opinion that it's basically a giant spell book, though.
Putting it back onto my hand using the mage hand.
I think you might have cut out.
I heard him.
Mage hand, pick it up, and go back to how it was before.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. I gotcha. Cool. And you're able to do
Next
that.
question.
I am going to attempt to, when the party's not looking, sort of meld into the background and disappear. I want to sort of trail off from the group and keep an eye on them, but I want to go hidden. And I'm going to say, I'm going to scout ahead. I'll follow you guys close, or I'm going to scout around. I'll follow you guys close by. I sense we're being watched. And then I just, without saying anything, I just whoosh. I get advantage on this because Archer Rogue. 18.
So like the snow kind of like picks up during the storm, and you see the opportunity right after saying that, and you kind of like step into the gust, and you're able to kind of get off to the side a little bit and blend in with your surroundings.
All right, and I'm going to take a look into the bag.
So you open the bag, and inside is immediately you see there is another bag inside this bag, and then there is some rolled up bread, some cheese, maybe some dried meat. It looks like it's all kind of wrapped up in some cloth. There's a water skin that is feels warm to the touch, and other than that, there really isn't much else.
I take the water skin. I'm not used to things being warm in cold climates. Yeah, I opened it and I taste it.
It's water, but it's warm.
It's warm? That's weird. Do I sense anything magical about it? Like, what? I'm intrigued. Fuck the other bag. What's up with this warm water skin?
It appears as though it remains warm.
Okay, then. I'm gonna put it back in. Alright, I'll look into the other bag.
You open the other bag. You try to open it, and it won't open. Not that it's locked. It just is almost as if the slot, like it's a drawstring bag. So like it's pulled
I get what
tight.
you mean.
So as you all pull out the string, like it just won't it just won't open.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and roll investigation, see if I can determine anything else from the bag.
Go ahead.
Not the bag I can't open from the. See if there's any hidden pockets, anything like that.
Sure.
15.
You find a small hidden pocket, and all that's in there is some gold coins. But these gold coins, they seem like all be different. Some are stamped. You recognize a couple even from the Feywild and whatever kind of golden coinage currency you have that recognize from there. But they all seem to be aged differently and different qualities and types. Some look just like crude gold pieces. Some aren't even stamped even into coins.
Roughly how much is there?
Maybe you could say there's probably like 115 gold pieces worth of just like pure gold.
I reach to take it, but then I draw back, realizing, wait a minute, this is Aaron's bag, and then noticing, wait, why'd I take this in the first place? Ah, son of a bitch. And I package it all up, put it back under my cloak, and walk back to the guys. And when I get back to them, it was just a wolf that was watching us. Nothing we should be scared of. And I'm gonna roll deception. I'm gonna use luck, and I'm gonna roll deception. I'm gonna use the 9, and I'm gonna cry that I wasted a luck.
So you guys hear him say this, and the shifting in his eyes clearly. I mean, this guy seems a little shady, but something.
Yeah, that's lower than all of your passive wisdom. So you can straight up tell he's lying.
Yeah, he's being deceitful.
Well, that's good that you chased it away.
Yeah, wolves can be nasty.
So the sun is setting as the wind kind of picks up even more. Like you look up into the sky, and through like the gaps in the snowfall, it's almost as if the clouds are right above you. Like the storm is just massive as it's blowing through you guys.
How far away is Arb compared to the bandit hideout?
The bandit hideout is farther away. It's like 3/4 of the walk, so it would be almost.
Better if we go to Arb.
Yeah, it's definitely like you can see Arb in the distance.
I have a suggestion for you guys. How about we drop him off at a doctor's, and then we go and check out the bandits? If the bandits are such a problem, we should probably check them out, but he needs a hospital at least, or a warm bed.
We know a person. Or we did.
That's great. That's great. Let us go find him.
I look back to Vera. This will determine if we are actually back in time or where we left off.
Yeah. See if that girl is still there or not. If she isn't, we need to book
So
it back.
question for her. Why she didn't tell us when she had a chance?
What?
Building
But-
to talk to us, and she sleep. I said that we should shove her into my sleeping bag, but we ended up.
No. It was a different person. That wasn't
Yeah,
the
it
same
was a different
person.
woman. It was a girl, like a kid, like in her teens that
Yeah,
came
yeah.
to the bar.
Yeah, the scalped girl was not the woman that we tied up.
I can't believe that whole fiasco went down.
Yeah, no, the girl that showed up there was a little girl that Kev Horn saw reading a book on the bed. But yeah, so you guys are going to head towards Arb.
Arb first, bandit second. Maybe bandit second.
So as you get closer to Arb, you're trudging through the snow. It's hard. I mean, you guys who are not resistant to cold are bundling up as tight as you can. Your noses are cold and runny. Your eyes are dry and frozen. You
Me
eventually
more than them because this is the first time I've ever been in snow.
um
What is this white crap?
actually you can roll a con save.
Oh, lovely.
Because I know what you were doing before you ended up here. So, oh, you're okay though. That's fine. That's enough. That's right on. So you're feeling the effects of your journey through this glimmer, through this your home world, and through the snow. But you're able to trudge through without an exhausting, level to you. So
Yeah, it's not fun.
yeah.
I
Go ahead.
didn't go. But I'll let you use my cloak.
Say again, sir?
My cloak. My patchwork cloak.
Yeah.
Oh. Thank you, but I will suffice once we're in town. His voice has changed like 8 times now.
I'm quite happy at that. And at the same time, I am thanking Merchant. I'm like, my good friend. as I look down at my big poofy jacket.
So you guys going back to that tavern?
Yeah, I assume
Yes.
so.
So eventually you guys get there, you walk the town, the streets are basically empty, there's no one walking around, it's getting late, it's cold, windows are being boarded up because there's thought of an impending attack from the tribes of the north. As you open up the tavern, everything looks as though you remember it, and the woman standing across the counter looks up at you guys and says, "Hello, oh my, what happened to him?"
Hello again. Yeah, one of our friends kind of fainted out there.
"Oh, do you already have a room here? What is your name?"
Of the Southern Isles.
I would remember that name. Uh, wait, Twiggy of the Southern Isles. No, I don't have anything here. A different name?
Damien.
Damien. I don't. I think you may have a wrong bar.
I don't think she remembers us.
May your light never fade.
that's something my husband always says. And she like looks around the corner, and you see that same man
No.
behind the bar,
Oh! Oh!
Holy crap!
Oh no!
and he like winks back at her.
What?
Ed?
Son of a bitch. I'm going to bed. Fuck this. My brain hurts.
You sit down and be like,
Oh my god.
"Sir, do you remember me?"
You saying this to the guy?
Yeah, he said so.
Okay. Yeah, I just heard he remember me. I was like, oh. So he's like standing there cleaning a glass, and off to his left is that same dragonborn bartender who was there previously. And he kind of looks at you and he goes, "Son, if I feel like I remember a colorful fellow like you. Would you like a drink?"
I will. Okay. Is he just like sitting at a table?
No,
or-
he's standing behind the bar. He's working there. Like he owns it with his wife.
I will look back at my friends and go, "Well, my Dragonborn buddy sure needs a drink. That's for sure.
Oh man,
He's never seen snow
Dragonborn?
before."
you're one of them black dragon ones.
Dragonborn. What is this? I'm not a Dragonborn.
And then everyone looks at the Dragonborn standing to the left of the guy who's like stopped cleaning and is like leaning forward and looking at oh what is his it's Draskin, right?
Draskin.
Yeah, looking at Draskin like really awkwardly, like you're like, and he says, You are not Dragonborn.
No, I am what is called a Dragonfolk.
Come sit down. Come sit down. He like waves you over and he puts like a glass on the table and pours some like dark alcohol in it. Come here.
Okay, I go and sit with him.
As you sit down, he just like slides you the drink and he just goes, "Where are you from?"
I'm. Oh God, did we ever decide a name for the city?
I left it up to you.
Shit.
While
One
you
second.
while you think about that, we're gonna go back over to
That's perfectly fine.
the rest of the group, and she's like, "Oh, well, I'm not sure what quite is going on here, but I think we should get your friend there a room, maybe. Too much to drink in the snow, or what happened? Is he okay?"
Most of his friends are dead. Made him overcome.
Most of
There
his
may have been magic involved.
magic involved. What? You are the strangest group. Just come over here. Come over here. And she like walks into the bar, and there's like a big bench. She's just lay him down
Maria's
here. Just
taking
lay him.
out the four gold she has.
No. Come on.
She doesn't even notice you like take the gold out. She like walks ahead of you guys. Like, just put him down here. Put him down here.
I mean, the 7 gold she has, that's what she thinks it is. She has no idea. She can't count.
Go,
Just-
well, I know you two used to be great adventurers. Boy, do we have a story to tell.
How do you? I know I don't know you. I remember you.
I will bow again and I'll be like, my name is Twiggy of the Southern Isles of a different timeline. Thank you.
Timeline. Miss, just lay down. Will you lay down? The man here. And she like pats like the table.
Oh yeah, Beray's already like kind of like settling him in.
Okay. So what? And she like starts like doing like vital checks on him, like checking his like pulse or whatever. I don't know, whatever they might know how to do back in this time, but see, he's like, okay, he's alive. What? Who is he? What is his name?
Should we?
Should
We
you what,
call
dear?
him George, but
George. She goes, George, are you with us? And she slaps him in the face. George, honey, get some of the strong stuff. I have an idea. Oh, he seems to be passed out.
his last name is Lopez.
George Lopez. He sounds racist.
So, don't be too rough with him.
Well, I'm gonna get him awake here somehow.
Why? Because that was the name that we agreed that I was gonna use if I ever infiltrated the bandit hideout.
Oh my god!
I remember
it
that.
was?
I remember that. Yeah.
Oh god!
So like the husband kind of runs over and sets down this like really like clear liquid, and she takes it and like opens his mouth and pours it in his mouth, and like a second goes by, he just like starts coughing and he spits it out and he sits up real fast. What the fuck? And he starts like pushing everyone back.
Beray goes to like hold him down because she doesn't want him to hurt himself.
He like starts fighting you back a little bit, and he's like, "Where's my staff?"
Oh,
Ugh.
oh! Calm down.
He like just stares at you. And he's like, "Man, are you big?"
Thanks.
All right.
I grew that way myself.
I suppose you did. Now, can you just let me up. Just sorry.
I just didn't want you to hurt yourself. And she
Yeah.
like backs up.
Did you fight? Did you fight in the war?
I
It's okay.
mean, yes, technically.
Did we win?
We did. Well, we weren't there for the whole thing. There's magic, weird shit
Oh.
going on.
You were the secondary. You were the secondary group in. Did we push back the dragons?
Okay. Our side did win.
Okay.
However, here's a caveat. You are a long time away from home.
Long time away from home. We're in the north, right?
We're on the verge of having the Black Dragon fight back again.
Well, how again? Didn't Artemis kill him?
Apparently not all of them. Artemis is now a skeleton. We left him in the Forgotten Keep. You can read all
skeleton?
about that if you want.
Colorful man, you make no sense. I will not have any of this. And he gets up and starts like trying to like
No,
get off
no,
the
no.
table. Just
No.
I have to
no.
get back to the city. Where's to the keep?
No. The Forgotten Keep.
Forgotten keep. It was an old keep owned by the what was the name of that? The Drungales? I don't know. My book. Where's my
Do
book?
I still have my
Yeah, unless you canceled it, it's still there.
not my mage hand? Do I have
No.
the old tabard from that skeleton that I took?
Oh yeah. I mean, you still have it. Yeah.
I'm going to have something here, and I'll pull it out and be like, "Does this symbol remind you of anything?"
That And he kind of like takes like puts this like he doesn't like take it from me, but he grabs he grabs it like as well. You know, it's longer, of course. So he's kind of like holding it in his hand, and he's like feeling it. It's the Tabar. This is the tabard of Artemis, the king's group, his bodyguards. How did you? How did you get it?
I was there.
So you were in the
Also,
war.
If you no.
I mean,
Sit
we
down
did
for
fight
now.
that white dragon in the past.
The white
Did fight a
dragon.
dragon.
Which
But,
white dragon? Ithiel?
The- Yeah, that
No.
one.
Briario's killed it.
Uh,
Vera.
I wasn't dead.
No. Vera. There's a bunch.
No,
But
but we fought it, and then it was still here. We fought it here too.
but
Right?
he
I'm
brought
not crazy.
You're not crazy. Okay, sir. And I'm gonna reach into my pocket and pull out Artemis's chain.
he immediately takes it from you.
How long before he notices the axe?
I'll let him take it, and I'll go. Artemis gave me that himself to give to his son.
His son. His son is nearly an infant.
His son rules the kingdom.
It's the
Like I said, you've been away for.
how? How have I been away? How does any of this make any sense?
I will. Oh, there. You've been under a spell.
Well, that seems
Helmond.
unlikely.
Helmond?
How? What did you say? And he like immediately gets serious, and he's just like, "What? You know, like, what do you? Why would you speak of him?"
Troll. He's been having you go through the timeline and steal stuff.
And like a realization kind of comes over him, and he just goes, "He was there
Was.
when Kel'Thuzman fell. Jingareth lived, which was against everything we had thought to be true. We thought they were together, combined as one heart. But when we banished Talman from the group, we said he was a traitor. Artemis made the decision, but he was still there. And I guess that's what did I. We were out of options, and I had no other choice. Hallman had shown me a spell, something I'd never seen before, and there was no other options. I was, and he kind of like looks at his arm, and he's like, "I'm not destroyed. I used it, and now I'm here." And like he just gets like quiet. Then he like looks up and he just goes, "So are all my friends are?" And then he notices the axe on Vreya.
Uh,
And he just looks up at her and he goes, "They're all dead, aren't they? They're gone."
well, maybe not. There is that old elf guy that we talked to.
And of Briar. I can't ever say his
It
name.
wasn't Briarios. It was his buddy
Yeah, it was like one of his servants.
or bodyguards or
Well,
something.
the Gold Coast elves, they are the Elven Kingdom, right?
Yeah, they were.
What?
It's the elf, and the elf can explain things.
Where
Along
is
the way, we can check out the bandit hideout.
Yeah.
Go over there anymore because we're in a different timeline. I mean, and I look back at the man behind the bar and be like, he's still alive.
Right? He was the one that
Wait,
told us
sir.
about it.
By the way, sir, thank you.
He waves at you like with like a questioning look, like you're welcome, I guess.
Actually, and Rhea turns in. Have you heard about bandits in the area?
Oh well, no, not so many. The biggest problem we have, Hun, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was the northern tribes. They were leaving or something, right? Because of the horde.
Fair.
And then she
So
just
it's
kind of
gonna
like
be
shrugs.
the horde?
Yeah.
So it's gonna be even harder for her to talk to people. That's cool. Yeah.
Twiggy will start digging into his pack and throwing, setting some things aside and pull out a box. Things. And I'll hand you a box of different dresses and whatnot.
What am I supposed to do with? And she like pulls one out. She's like, how are you supposed to move in it?
Twiggy was just beaming and then he's like, to the woman behind the bar, or is she just walking around? And I'll be like, you can ask her. She used to be an adventurer and she's better with dresses.
I
Let
mean-
down the leg. It'll give you a lot of
Twiggy, I don't think now's the time to be playing dress up.
hey, there's always time to see a woman in a dress.
So as
Not
this,
one that can literally cleave your head from your shoulders.
as this conversation
That-
is awkwardly going on between the barbarian who doesn't really understand and Twiggy, did you remember what the city is called?
No, but I made one up.
Okay, what did you say?
It is in between two. I'm gonna let you choose: Ataka or Sterling City.
Sounds too much like a taco. We're going with Sterling City.
Sterling City. Okay. So he asked me where I'm from.
Yeah.
I am from Sterling City in the Feywild, or so I've. This is the material realm.
And he kind of leans back. The Fae. You are.
Yes.
You're. Oh, what did they call you? Dragon.
Dragon folk.
Kin? Folk?
We are
Dude.
called dragon folk.
Dragon folk. You guys are real. We are also from. Well, it's rumored that we are from the Fae. This is a long time ago, and the ancestors of my kind have long dead now. But that's astonishing. Do you know how to get there?
I was brought here through. Ha ha ha! Very funny, Twiggy. I was brought here by a portal. It was not of my own volition.
Amazing. Well, welcome. Another dragon who isn't trying to consume everybody and everything and everyone is welcome. Welcome here.
Thank you, friend.
He pours you like another drink if you drank the previous one.
Yeah, I have.
Hello?
Hey,
Hey,
Hello?
sorry. I felt.
You failure.
You missed so much.
you're like
You've missed so
you're like
much.
4
so
minutes
much.
from the end of the session, too.
Oh, great. I pulled a sycamore.
You did.
Yep.
Mm.
It's all right. Just hang out and we'll have Jiven. I'll get you caught up, but you can listen to the rest of the session, and I'll try to
All
come
right.
up with something to kind of include you into the leading into the next session.
Okay.
Cool. Okay. So yeah, he welcomes you. I keep forgetting your name, Draskin, to the bar, and kind of like cheers to you.
I cheer in return. I'm getting crunktified while you guys are going through a midlife crisis.
So the man you guys call Aren, and also George Lopez, basically tells you guys the tale, not the tale, but the truth behind what happened that led up to the Black Dragonflight's destruction. The treason that Hallmund committed of completely betraying his own humankind, leading to the death of just thousands of civilians all across the southern lands. Hallmund completely stabbed Artemis in the back, which is why Artemis attempted to kill him and then expelled him from the city. He was thought to be dead, but apparently he wasn't, and he showed up at that keep that night and is the reason why Jengareth wasn't actually killed. In the middle of the story there, it talks of him being beat up and destroyed, and then all of a sudden he's back to his armor is repaired and he's healthy looking, and he goes to attempt to finish off Artemis when the spell is read. But instead of the George Lopez, or Aren as you guys know him, tells you guys that one of the last things he saw when reading the spell was he saw Hallmund in the corner doing something as well, and it appeared as though everyone suddenly disappeared, though he doesn't understand how, why, or what happened. And then upon that, he says he wishes to retire to a room, and he asks the lady for a room, and she grants him one, because at this point, she knows the story. She was an adventurer. She knows who these people are, these names that he had talked about, the story he just told. She's kind of like dumbfounded as well, and just kind of like points towards an empty room. And at that point, George Lopez just kind of saunters over and closes the door behind him, leaving you guys in the tavern. And that will basically be the end of the session, unless there's anything you guys want to do in the last minutes
So
here.
he's gonna
Yeah, I got a question.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Why is there?
You will be filled in.
I'll fill you in
Okay.
just a minute here.
I want to go over to one of the tables now that me and my dragon friend are done talking. What is the name of my dragon friend? Because I am going to be his friend.
Oh, I never gave him a name. We're gonna call him
Rhaegar.
I don't know. What's a dragonborn name? Let me get a dragonborn name. 1 second.
Rhaegar.
Asadi.
Hang on.
Esclusi.
I'm gonna Google a name because I can't think of any dragonborn names. I can think of a lot of random names, but they're not like.
Tiberius Stormwind.
You bastard.
His name is Medivh.
Medivh. I'm going to turn away from Medivh, say goodbye to him, and go pull up a chair at one of the tables and beckon my new companions over.
He goes and sits with you and talks about all these
All right,
kinds of
that
things. Varaya, Twiggy, is there anything you want to do?
up a sexy black dress and be like, "Bruh, I believe that this here would suit you perfectly. Just try it on."
Is it a tent?
Is it a tent?
I
It's
will
like-
look
She's like trying to like figure out where her arms are supposed to go, and she's looking at you through the neck hole.
going to wave down the owns the place and go, you see, my friend here has never worn anything that wasn't combat related. Do you think you can give her a few pointers on how to
At this point, she has her head through the armhole.
Oh,
I don't
doll, just come on, come with me,
don't think this is right, Tiggy.
And as like she like beckons Rhea to come with her, the owner, and like she like winks at Twiggy as like She kind of like walks off with Vrea.
Like a fist pump, just like, yeah.
Yeah, like I'll help you out here. So, Vrea, if you walk off with her, she's just going to like show you how. Like, she's gonna take you to your own room first of all, just so you have a place to sleep, and then show you.
Maria tries to give her the 4 gold.
Every time you hand it to her, she just kind of like pushes it back. Like, no, that's not necessary. Not necessary. Damien
But
paid for
that's-
everything.
That's how it works, right?
Fucking Damien.
I thought
Lead 'em
Twiggy
dry.
was I thought Twiggy was the only one with money.
He has like 13 scrolls. He can fuck off. Leave the fucker dry.
Anyway, so Varea gets
Also-
taught how to wear the dress and to look pretty and whatever else girls do.
At the end of the day, how many of those scrolls do you think will be in my pocket?
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Sleight of hand. No, I'm not going to steal from players. That's terrible.
And then that sounds like it's. Oh, and then just Twiggy, as like you're sitting there watching him walk off. All of a sudden, the door just kicks in, and like in walks in Jiven, just looking super confused. Like,
What the fuck did I miss?
and then that would be the end of the session right there.
I'll just wave him over.
So I'm
Wow,
gonna
that was a glorious session.
I'm gonna end the live stream, but then I'll explain to you, Dragar or Jiven,
Alright.
what kind of happened. But thanks everyone who was watching and anyone who watches the video in the future. Bye bye.
Thank you.